Well, hello, internet friends near and far. Welcome to another episode of Parks and Conversation. And this is a podcast where we watch an episode of Parks and Recreation, and then we converse about it. And I'm Jason, and I'm joined all the way across town by my friend
Hey,
Jeremy.
how's it going?
So good. So great.
Good, that's good. Awesome.
Yeah, how
Just
are
trying
you,
to get this
man?
thing just going. I'm good. Just trying to get it going.
Oh, listener, I'm sorry for Jeremy's behavior. We were experiencing some delay last week on Jeremy's end, and
There's some delay on my end.
Sure. This is going great. We're just giddy because we're at the end of a season here of Parks and Recreation, season 4, episode 22, Win, Lose, or Draw, which is a game show, but also the title of this episode. Very
Is that with Louis Anderson?
I think it was with Louis Anderson. Yeah. He was also on Family Feud for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Before Steve Harvey. So
yeah.
And if there is a guy who is made for Family Feud, it's Steve Harvey. He's so good at it.
Yeah, because people give the worst answers. And he's like, I suffer, not these people.
I suffer for you, America. For these dumb people. Oh man, they're so dumb. My favorite is when somebody gives the exact answer that the person before them just said.
Oh yeah.
It's like, no, did you not just hear this? That's fun. So.
Especially when it goes over to the other team and they give one of the answers from before.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
They're fun.
So we're talking about this show.
We're talking about Parks and Recreation. It's going to be great. And this episode is the, final day. They're voting, and it's all come down to this. The whole season has been leading to this moment. And it starts off with the cold open with the elections official talking about how things will progress. In the event of a tie, the win goes to the man and the woman goes to prison. And Leslie challenges that, and he's like, I don't think it'll hold up in court, but we'll see. And then Ben also points out that the voting machines seem a little biased, because if you vote for Bobby, you get candy. But if you vote for Leslie, it asks you, are you sure? And then you commit to it, and then it makes a crying baby noise. So it's pretty good stuff right there. And Jen is like, I don't see what the problem is. So
yeah, Jen, I feel like we could probably use more of those in the world. Actually, for some people, certain things like, are you? No. Just like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, like voting though. I would not be opposed to it. I would like people to have to really think about it. Sure
I was just talking about like those soda machines where it's like, are you sure you want to mix Dr. Pepper with lemonade? Are you sure? I don't know.
Did that happen to you?
No, I'm just saying, like, I just think maybe people could use a hand every once in a while, like with their life choices.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. Now that you mention it, you know what I love is those, the soda machines with like the touch screen, the Coca-Cola ones, where you can really go for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like if something came up and it's like, ooh, are you sure you want to add that cherry limeade to
I'm
your
with you
Coke?
so far. Yeah, why not? I like cherry. I like lime.
With the vanilla Fanta and iced
vanilla
tea.
Fanta?
No, I don't know. Just making stuff
so
up.
Gross. I hate vanilla Coke and vanilla, anything with extra vanilla in it. It's like, no, that was wrong. Why'd you do that?
You know it's good. Cream soda Dr. Pepper. Have you had one of those?
No. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, that's pretty good. It is a real thing. It's delicious.
Can I go to the store and acquire it?
I think so.
Oh, well.
My father-in-law had it, so if not, you can talk to Bill.
All right. Well, listener, thanks for downloading this episode of Parks and Conversation, and I am going to go to QFC real quick. So,
all right. I'll tell people what happened. So there was a vote, and somebody won. No.
Yes. Somebody won. Somebody tied. There was a front runner that surprised everybody. So, yeah. So this episode is, we try to break up into A plot, B plot, C plot often, but this episode has a lot of things going on. And it's hard, I think it would be hard to really get too plot specific because it all kind of overlaps.
Yeah, the only one that was kind of outside of the main storyline would be Andy and
April.
Yes.
Andy and April.
And Donna.
For a minute. So let's just talk about them real quick because everybody's getting ready for the party. And for some reason, April is doing some kind of office work. And she called Andy in a panic. And Andy comes and into the Parks Department office and is like, I'm here. What can I do? And April's hiding under the table because she accidentally deleted all the files. All of them.
Pull the Jerry.
Yeah. And so Andy's response is, well, you did the right thing by calling me and hiding under this table. But we'll fix this. We'll fix it. And as somebody who grew up playing a lot of Nintendo, Andy's method of fixing a technology problem is in line with how I was trained. Blow on it and hit it. And so he blows on the monitor because he still doesn't understand how the computer works. He blows on the monitor and then slaps it off the desk. It's like, now try it. And that did nothing.
Oh, the files are in the computer.
Yeah. You can read minds. And so then the next time it comes back to them, they are panicking. And Andy's like, look, we just have to go and change everything about our lives. Go to a new town, burn off our fingerprints, swap faces if necessary. Really,
all because of this mistake that you made, the worst, most terrible mistake in the entire world.
Yeah,
but other than that, we'll be fine.
Yeah, he's trying to help, but doesn't sound super helpful. And so they then say, all right, well, what would we do in a scenario where we have to start over? And they make a list of jobs. And included on the jobs are like veterinarian and that kind of stuff. And then all of Andy's jobs are like police officer, FBI agent, all things in line with the Burt Macklinisms of Andy Dwyer. And while they're making the list, Donna comes to the office to basically fix everything because Donna has so much experience. And so Andy is confident that Donna can be the one to save the day. Donna shows up, sits down behind her desk, clicks a couple things, and then fixed it. And that's it. It was so easy. And April is totally shocked. Like, how did you do this? And she's like, well, because Jerry deletes everything all the time. So I have a secret backup.
Backup system for the win.
Yeah. You know what? If you don't back up your files, I have no pity for you when your computer crashes.
Back up your backups.
Yeah. If you have one backup, you have zero backups. If you have two backups, you have one backup. So you got to have backups, guys. Get on that.
But then you're back to one backup, which is zero backups.
Yeah. So then get another backup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So on the Backblaze.
On the sheet of places to live, I don't know if you saw that, but there was included places like Germany. Well, not like, it included Germany, Greenland, Australia, the Moon, Winterfell, Montana, South Africa, with the initials DMB following, because that's where Dave Matthews is from. Russia, after crossing out USSR, Chicago, Florida, the Everglades, Jamaica, Pegasus, New Caprica. That's a deep cut from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Georgia, not the one, not the US one. Bermuda, Bahama, Key Largo, Montego, Kokomo, Amazon Village, which I don't know, because right after that says Seattle, so I don't know if that meant like Amazon like headquarters or like a village in the Amazon, and Burley's house on Lake Michigan, Andrew Burleson, the guitars of For Mouse Rat.
Yes.
Which he comes up later, which is amazing. So yeah.
That's fantastic. I do love the fact that they list all the places from Kokomo as places to live. And I just recently learned that Kokomo is not a real place in that song.
No, it's a Disney movie.
No, that's Coco.
Oh.
Kokomo is a Beach Boys song, and Kokomo is a made up place that they want to go. Have you not heard the
It's
song?
representative of the. Oh no, I'm very familiar with the song. It was on repeat during the '90s on KUBE, Mark's Moment of Mush. Anytime somebody wanted to call in and make a dedication to somebody that they had a crush on,
They always played Kokomo?
for like it seemed like weeks when
Oh,
that
my
song
word.
first came out. Yep, it was like 9:30 every night, just glued to that radio. Like
Yeah.
I was in the 1950s. See if somebody would finally send me a Coco message.
I'm sad. I
Still waiting, Mark.
I was exposed to that song, much like COVID.
Did you get a vaccine?
I wish. In my elementary music class, Miss Lettuce, real name, would have us sing songs, right? It's a music class. And so we'd sing things like Yellow Submarine, Put Me in Coach, fun songs for kids. And then Kokomo.
Rally Around the Family.
Yeah,
Kokomo.
Pocket Full of Shells. And Kokomo. And, it was about like going to tropical places in my brain. That's what this is about. But it's not about that. It's about it's about basically like about sexy times. Like going to all these sexy time places. It's like sandals for it. And it's like
hot.
As an adult, I look back on my music education, and I am just surprised that nobody called Ms. Lettuce out on this garbage. Like she's playing like sexy times music for like third graders. We're all gonna sing the song.
Sure. Ooh. To our parents.
At the annual concert.
At a recital. Yeah. That'd make a good podcast. Like all the songs we grew up with thinking they were one thing, but they ended up being a different one.
Yeah.
And also bad lyrics too. Like Hold Me Close, Tony Danza, things like that. I think that'd be fun.
The misheard lyric. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fun. But anyway, so Donna fixes it and all is well. Huzzah. Later on, they will be celebrating things. Spoiler, Leslie is ultimately going to win. They're celebrating things, and to set up for the next season, April points out that all the things that were listed on Andy's jobs were related to law enforcement. And so it gives us an inkling of what could be in Andy's future, which is exciting. So
RoboCop.
Yeah. Oh, man. That was also a cartoon for children.
Right?
What the heck? The actual RoboCop movie is disgusting. So, yeah, but hey, children. No, it's a cute robot who blows people away. So,
just trying to uphold law and order.
Yeah, do what you can. Do what you can. All right, so let's go back to the main arc of this episode is the getting ready to get everybody voted and celebrate a victory. And so it starts off with Leslie and her team kind of talking through the evening, and Leslie is very stressed and on the verge of a nervous breakdown through all this and tries to eat her bagel with cream cheese.
I just throw this out because this is so stupid. I was trying to think of another ridiculous movie from that time era and that would have been made a terrible cartoon, and I couldn't remember the name of it. And then you started talking. I was like, I can't do it now. But the movie that I was trying to think of was Total Recall, which then I just realized I didn't have in the moment. So that made it even twice as funny. Oh man. Anyway, continue. Bagel and cream cheese. I would have watched the heck out of Total Recall, the cartoon, by the way, but whatever, keep going.
I actually have never seen Total Recall, but I'm glad you think it could make a good cartoon. Entertaining cartoon.
Yeah.
So they're at the at JJ's diner apparently, basically, and Leslie accidentally eats her phone with cream cheese on it. She's having a hard time. And then Tom gets up to tell everybody the party's going to be in the Jermaine Jackson Ballroom at Pawnee Super Suites. And he's upset with Ben because Ben vetoed the idea of making it a pimps and hoes pajama party. So then Tom also says this is important because this is the night that Ann and I are going to get back together, because it was a dream that he had that was so real. it had to be true. It included Drake, the T-Mobile girl, Blue Ivy Carter, and eventually Anne in this dream saying, "We're getting back together tomorrow night." And so, yeah, so he's pretty excited. And so then it cuts to a elementary school, apparently, where they're voting. Where in-person voting is happening in Washington State, where we live. There is really no in-person voting. We get our ballots in the mail and we mail them, and we've been doing this for years, and it works wonderfully. It's awesome.
Mhm.
I love voting this way. What if all of America could vote this way? How cool would that be? Pretty
You would have the
cool.
machine saying, "Are you sure?"
It'd be pretty cool, making it a lot easier for people to vote, because voting is important.
But it's so hard. The more you know.
So so Bobby and Leslie are getting together to remind everybody to vote. And it doesn't matter who they're voting for. What matters is that they vote. And Bobby's like, man, she's so smart. That's why I'm voting for her. And everybody laughs. And Bobby doesn't understand why they're laughing. And Leslie's like, well, they're laughing because you said you're voting for me. And he's like, oh, I am. You can't vote for yourself. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I don't know. I totally believe that a Bobby Newport person would think voting for himself would be illegal. So,
right. But at least he's not the rich guy that's like thinks he can like do anything he wants just because he's rich. Like he actually still has ethics, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
No? Okay.
No, I agree. Bobby does seem to be ethical, except for trying to hold the town hostage in the debate. But if I win, bet I can convince them to stay. So, not totally ethical.
That was just that was his dad talking. He probably thought that was a really good idea. Like he didn't know any better.
He didn't. As we know, he doesn't know very much because he's flummoxed by the boom microphone in this scene. Just like, what is that thing? So
it's called a dead cat.
Is that what it's called?
The cover, the fuzzy cover over top of the microphone itself is called a dead cat.
That's disturbing.
Why? Yeah, he pets it. That's why he goes. Rawr, rawr. I don't know, because doesn't he say like it's like a cat?
No, I don't. Maybe he did. I don't know. Anyway,
that's fine.
While Ben and Leslie are doing their press conversation, Bobby and Leslie, and then Ben and Jen are talking, and Jen's like, hey, you did a great job. I barely tried here, and Leslie came all the way back into this race, and my bosses think you did a really great job. We'd like you to come and run a congressional campaign for us based out of DC. And Ben's like, oh, what? No way. And so then he's like, I'll think about it. So while that's happening, at campaign HQ, Chris comes to talk to Anne to ask her an important question, essentially saying, like, he confesses to Anne, yesterday I hooked up with Jen a bunch. And he's like, is that a good idea or a bad idea? And Anne's like, it doesn't really matter. The campaign's over. And Chris is like, okay, great. And he bolts it out of the office. He just takes off to go find Jen again. So that anytime Chris runs in this show, it's like at full speed, and it is wonderful. Right. So it's like he
only has one speed.
Yeah, go. Because if you stop, you die. And so they go. So he takes off, and then Leslie and Ben are talking, like, talking about needing the speeches and all this different stuff. And like, if I tie, she's like, if I tie, you need to write a tie speech for me, something about the poetic nature of democracy and how I'm going to fight this from my prison cell. I just love this idea that a tie, in the event of a tie between a man and a woman, the woman goes to prison.
As it has been written.
Yeah. It's town law.
Yeah.
And so then Leslie asks about what Jen was talking about, and Ben kind of blows it off, and he's like, "Well, where's a good place to buy jeans?" And
you have plenty of jeans.
So
not fooling anybody.
Yeah, Ben's a terrible liar, which is a consistent thing throughout this whole show, which is great. So he tells her like that Jen offered a job working for a congressional campaign, and Leslie's like, "That's exciting, but what are you going to do?" And he's like, "I don't know. We got to think about it." And so they're like, "All right, let's just let this day happen, and then we'll think about it. We'll talk about it over." And so then Leslie goes to vote, and Bobby, she's like having this solemn moment where she, uses that puncture thing for the voting booth that Indiana did, I guess, creating a hanging chad, which probably was what led to the tie and the recount and all that stuff.
It's called a butterfly ballot.
It's dumb.
Flyaway ballot.
It's so stupid. There's got to be easier ways to vote. Like, I don't know, mailing everybody the ballot. So
hey, it would also fund the post office
from the government funding itself. What a good idea.
Yeah, it's a perpetual funding machine. Is that how those work?
Every kind of election. So, and then, there's more than, the 4-year election. There's elections all the time. So mail it out. And then hopefully it gets to where it needs to go, because the USPS is doing great. Everybody says so. So while Leslie is voting, she's getting it figured out, and Bobby is like, "Leslie, can you help me? I don't know how to do this. I got ink on my hands. The thing broke off the chain." And so he's having a hard time. And
the ink was the best part, because there wasn't even a pen in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's all like you poke holes in the ballot, and where he found an ink pen, I don't know.
He did it to himself, man. So great.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd.
So Paul Rudd is a delight in this episode. And so then voting happens, and then they're at the Jermaine Jackson Ballroom at the Pawnee Super Suites. And Anne is like, "Hey, I know you're going to be super stressed out." No, I went too far. So the first ballots come in, and Pert Hapley is saying, the precinct's just closed, and right now we have a commanding lead from Brandy
with
Max.
1% in.
1% in. Brandy Max has 6 votes. And Bobby had 2 and Leslie had 1. It's like a commanding lead. And so Leslie immediately was like, "Oh, great. Now, Bobby's not going to beat me. Brandy Max is going to beat me, the porn star." And so Leslie is freaking out. And Anne calls her over to like, "Hey, I've got some things to help you work out this stress." And we'll see that in a moment, what that's going to be.
A couple other things real quick on the ballot were also, so some of the other candidates on the ballot were Phondu, Fondue, Martin Lockheed, and Tina Nabisco. So little things to keep your eye out if you haven't watched it yet. Tina Nabisco.
I love the names that they have throughout this whole series. It's so good. Yeah, so then we see Ron at the bar getting some drinks, and Ron throughout this episode is the voice of wisdom, is kind of his role. And so he's at the bar, and Jerry comes and is like, "Hey, I handed out 1,000 leaflets today, personal best. Now I got to go vote." And Ron's like, "Ballots are closed," because Jerry thought they closed at 8 and they actually closed at 6. And so now Jerry is super stressed, and he's like, what's going to happen? And Ron's response is, "Hope Leslie doesn't lose by 1 vote." And so,
just that one little mind bug in there that's going to eat away at him all evening.
Yeah. And as he says that, it's a razor thin, and Pert on the TV is like, "It's razor thin and getting razor thinner."
So laser thin? Like what's thinner?
It's going to be thin. So then Chris goes and finds Jen, and they find a supply room with a futon, and they do their thing. And the office, it's at the Bobby campaign headquarters, and people are staring at them like, "What are you guys doing?" And Jen's just like, "Oh, we're getting supplies. Does anybody need any push pins?" Okay, closes the door. And so then we see what Anne set up for Leslie was boxing to work out some of the angst, and they're going for it, and they don't know if they're doing a good job. And Leslie's like, "Oh, I'm so tired. How long was that? 22 seconds," which is accurate because boxing is exhausting. So, have you
Yeah,
ever
I know. Like
tried
one
to
time I
box?
went. Oh, yeah, when I went, like, so there's a family entertainment thing, and I tried to
Hmm.
hit that, and I was like the little punching bag that comes down, and I
Hmm.
hit it that one time, and I was tired for the rest of the day.
That
So I
sounds
won. So
tough.
I'm kind of the champion. So I don't
But
know.
it's a competition against you and the boxing bag that just goes right back up. Is that the victory you had?
Yeah, but I'm still undefeated. So
So the game didn't beat you.
I get a belt, I think, somewhere. I'm still waiting.
Where can I buy jeans? You have plenty of jeans. So, yeah, boxing is just super exhausting.
Have you boxed? Are you a boxer?
I I've never like officially boxed. I'm kind of like the Jake Paul of my office. I No, I've never, but I have used boxing gloves and like done like speed bag, you know,
Yeah.
and the gloves are so heavy at the end of your arms, it's like that extra weight just at the very end of your arms like really works your whole body. It's
I can't
exhausting.
I can't even make my arms work.
No, it's terrible. So, and then like if you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of it, you've got the gloves on. It's like I guess
Hmm.
do I just pee?
Let's see how
And
this
then
goes.
and then they said you can't come back, Jason. So that was weird.
That was the end
Um,
of your career.
yep. And so
Yellow gloves.
old yellow
Because like
gloves.
there's just like silver, like the silver glove boxing, and yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. So Anne and Leslie talk about this whole Ben thing, and Leslie's like, I want him to stay here because we've never had a normal relationship. We've been doing this campaign as long as we've been together. And then but Anne's like, you could work it out. And then Leslie gets an alert that some election results have come in, and she can't access her phone because of the gloves. And so Anne reads it for her, and 20% in, and Bobby Newport is up by 140 votes. And so they're like, all right, let's keep doing this boxing thing. And they go another 8 seconds is the commitment, and she does one swing and is too tired. So, yeah. Then Ben comes to the bar where Ron is stationed and orders a gin and tonic. And Ron tells Dana, the bartender, to belay that order and instead get a Lagavulin neat because clear alcohols are for rich women on diets. um, so then Ben tells Ron, like, what's going on? It's like, Jen offered me this job. I don't know what I should do. Leslie wants me to stay. And Ron then says, I've never been one for new anything. And he lists all the things that he's been doing forever. He's had the same haircut since 1978, driven the same car since 1991, used the same wooden comb for 3 decades. He has one bowl. So, like, Ron likes routine. And but then he says, you and Leslie like to run off cliffs and jump into the unknown. I think you'll be fine because you have a good relationship. And so, yeah. So here's some wisdom from Ron for Ben, which is encouraging.
although
But
although Ron did part his hair on the other side for a while,
he did.
and he had cornrows.
Yeah, but that was a bad influence. So,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
that was because of his terrible ex-wife, Tammy. And then Perd gives an update on the television with 74% of the precincts reporting Leslie Knope is now winning by 192 votes. And Jerry is like thanking God. And he's praying and he's like, let her win. Please, Lord, let her win. Please let her win. And so then it cuts to the Leslie and Ben talking. And essentially, Leslie saying, like, I know this has been crazy, but when all this is over, I just want to have dinner with you like normal people. And Ben's like, okay, I won't go. And it was like that easy because Ben also wants to have a good relationship with Leslie and he wants to be on board. Like they're both in this together, which is so great. So great, right? But
Yeah.
we get, as this wonderful moment comes in, we get the final votes are counted. And Purd tells us it's been neck and neck, too close to call all night, but now we're ready to make a call in the race for city council. Bobby Newport, scion of Sweetham's Candy Empire and amateur go-kart champion, has won the race.
Because that's all he can claim. Like that's his resume, because he's done nothing.
Yep. So so they Leslie is laughing, and because her dream is dead, and that's that. Commercial break would happen right here and on television, and it comes back to Ben coming into the election official's office demanding a recount because over 21 votes. It was only won by 21 votes, and so it demands a recount. And Jen is just over it. She's like, just concede. Please don't do this. And trying to convince to not do the recount, Jen offers Leslie, then Vice President Joe Biden's home phone number. And Leslie, well, let's think about this for a minute. So,
no, hang on.
No, hang on. And so Ben's like, you're not thinking clearly. We need to we need to do the recount, and please start it immediately. And the commissioner's like, yes, you're right. Keep your phones on. And so they go to do the recount. And while they're waiting, nobody can find Leslie. And so Ron, though, because he is the voice of wisdom, he knows where Leslie is. And he goes to city council chambers. And there he tells her, she's saying, like, I'm never going to get to sit in this chair. And Ron's like, you don't know that. And she feels bad because all her friends work so hard, and now she's going to lose. And Ron is like, we didn't do this to get glory for ourselves. We did this because we want to support you, because you're our friend. We care about you. That's what that's what you do when you care about someone. You support them, win, lose, or draw, as Louis Anderson would say.
That's the title of the show.
Yeah.
Of this episode.
There. It's all coming together. And
crazy.
So then Ron's,
what a coincidence.
It's totally a coincidence. Ron has convinced Leslie here, and he's like, all right, let's go back to the party, but you drive. I've had 11 whiskeys. So here's the situation. Ron drove there. Right? Or did he walk there?
So whiskeys 8, 9, and 10 might not have kicked in yet. I don't know.
No, maybe. Okay.
Based on Leslie's alcohol chart that she gave Ron, right. He probably should not be driving.
Yeah, but I do see this as a moment of personal growth for Ron as well, though. Like, yes, it seems like he drove there, but now he's acknowledging, like, Leslie, I need your help because I should not drive back.
I shouldn't have gotten here in the first place.
However, this happened, shouldn't have. And so Ben, when Leslie gets back, Ben is saying, hey, they're going to do the final results any minute. And they're in this side room, and Leslie's like, I got something for you, and open it up. And it is a miniature figurine of the Washington Monument. And Ben knows exactly what this bizarre code means in Leslie's brain is you should go and take the job. And Ben is like, are you sure about this? And Leslie's like, yeah, you should. And we'll come see you, and we'll make out all over Washington. It'll be great. And so they commit to do this. And then Ben asks, like, where did you get this at midnight on a Tuesday? And Leslie points out she has 50 of them in her office. And at this point, Anne comes in.
Right.
With some intense news. And she says the recount's over. It's still 21 votes. But you won, Leslie. And shock. What? This is probably my least favorite part of the episode.
Another recount.
It should be, right? Unless
it's well within the margin.
Yeah, unless they just did the second recount right away to say, like, oh, wow, it's 21 votes again. Who knows? They should just say the whole election was rigged and, put in their own electors to verify the votes, and then have people storm the Pawnee City Hall. It worked really well last time.
That's really ridiculous, man. That would never happen.
What is this, a comedy?
I know this is a comedy, but there's only so. I mean, you can't. It's not farce. It's not. You got to keep it at least grounded in reality, I think, to make things somewhat
believable.
Yeah. You can't. If it gets too far away, it just gets ridiculous and takes people out of the show, I feel. So
yeah,
too far, man.
Too far. Sorry, my bad. The show's already written. I don't have to augment it. And so
that's true. Yeah. Next insurrection. Don't worry about
it. So Leslie wins, and they're having a big party, and you hear Mouse Rat playing Catch Your Dream, and the balloons fall from the ceiling, and all the things. And that you got a little shot of Bobby giving his concession speech, and he's just saying, "I've never been more relieved in my life." Cut to Jerry saying, "I didn't ruin it," so he's also very relieved. And then Jen and Ben are talking, and Ben saying, "I'm going to take the job," and Jen is excited for him, and it's going to be great. And then she says, "I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to Chris," and Anne points out that he's just right over there, and he's like, "Oh, he looks busy," and she leaves. And then Chris congratulates Ron, because now that Leslie has won, Ron can take the assistant city manager job. But then Ron says, "I'm going to stay where I am because I like where I am." He doesn't like change. But you know who does like change? John Ralphio Saperstein, who appears out of nowhere like a douche fairy. And he says, he's just out of nowhere. He's like, "Wow, what is your deal?" And he says he's got
somebody talked about a job. There's a job opening, and he disappears.
Yeah, and because guess who got 2 thumbs and was just cleared from insurance fraud? He got off on a technicality. And then he's like, "What's the job I'm in?" And Chris is like, "There's no job for you." He's like, "Good call. I'm out."
Good call. Go with your gut.
So then Ben and Leslie are talking, and Ben gives her the victory speech, and Leslie's like, "When I'm emotionally ready, I want to read the concession speech." And then Ben, because he's just got all the confidence in Leslie in the world, tells her he never wrote a concession speech. And as we'll find out, it doesn't look like he finished a victory speech either. So the speech, Leslie goes up and gives a speech talking about how they're going to make a great city and all this stuff, but it ends early here, and then Leslie kind of just improvises and talks about how they're going to be a great city together, yada yada yada, and then they party. And so the credits scene, Tom and Anne are drunk. And Anne's like, "Tom, we should totally get back together." And Tom's like, "This was my dream." And they talk about, he calls himself Nostradamus. And then Anne says, "We should move in together." Or Tom says, "We should move in together." And Anne's like, "Absolutely." And they're like, "No take backs." And so they're into this whole thing together. And then Andy talks about how he's got this great year, has been so good. His hot wife, good job, great job, hot wife. Jackpot. Good job, me. So he's congratulating himself for surviving, essentially. And then Leslie tells everybody, "Hey, we're going to go to JJ's for victory waffles, and then we're staying up all night, talk about our lives and our feelings." And everybody's like, "Huzzah, let's go, let's do this." And then Ron says, "Jerry forgot to vote." Right there at the end. So the voice of wisdom, Ron Swanson.
I love Ron. Just at the end, that was probably his 15th Lagavulin. So
yeah, Jerry forgot to vote. So he finally has let down his guard. Jerry forgot to vote. Yeah. So this is a fun episode. The worst part is when Anne comes in and tells her like it's 21 votes and you win this time, and that all just felt
we skipped over that. Why?
Like contrived. What?
Just the way she presented it, like you'd said that before, but you didn't really talk about how
it just felt
why you felt that
was trying to be. It felt like it was just trying to be too emotional, pulling. Like it's trying to make you feel something, and I don't need to feel something right now. You just say like, "Hey, Leslie, you won." And the way it zoomed in on Leslie at that moment where she thought she was going to lose again, is like, she already thought she lost. So
And she smiles.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt really inauthentic to Parks and Recreation to me. Like I don't know. But the rest of the show, I loved. I loved it.
Oh, that's good. I was gonna say because I guess we could quit.
I guess we could quit this episode.
Oh, okay. Like our podcast episode, the season.
Yeah. So
put a pin in it.
Season 4. I mean, everybody is set up at the end of the season, which I like in a interesting direction, because Leslie's going to start her new role as city councilor. Ben's got this new campaign. Andy potentially looking for a new job. There's all these ideas that are out there. So like the next season, you can, like, if this show didn't come back after the season, it's like, oh, look, they all are taking next steps, right? But now that it does come back, it's like, look, we get to watch what that journey is.
So there was a lot of episodes in this season. I feel I don't have 22. The exact number. 22 is the exact number. So just super fast, because we for us that was pretty quick. What was your favorite episode, would you say, during season 4? I don't want to read all 22 of them, but some of the standouts for some people were the Ron and Tammy's. We had Pawnee Rangers, End of the World, where Andy and April go see the Grand Canyon. Let's see, The Trial of Leslie Knope, Citizen Knope. Bowling for Votes. That was okay. Let's see, kind of skipping a bunch of these other ones in the middle. The Debate was really funny. And then we kind of get into the end, win, lose, or draw. What would you say? There's a lot of other ones in there, but they weren't, as strong as some of those, I'd say.
Yeah.
If you choose any of those, you're wrong.
Oh, I really, really like End of the World. I think that may be my favorite as I'm looking over the episode list. That may be my favorite. And then my least favorite would be Bowling for Votes. Or Dave Returns. I don't really like that one either. Yeah. What about you, Jeremy?
Yeah, that's why I paused, scrolling through at the End of the World. I just thought that was one of those, I think, if I remember correctly, that didn't really push the story forward a huge amount as far as, but I mean, there was like things kind of ended and pushed us, kind of ended 720. That was the one with the cult, which was amazing. Yeah. And Andy and April kind of take a big leap as being a couple and kind of going out and doing some stuff. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, so
checking things off Andy's bucket list.
Yeah, it was great. I did like when the kind of the arc. I did like this arc. I like the season for the campaign arc because it gave us something to do, gave the parks people something to do, and then Leslie has as the kind of the leader of the parks department, now that she's a council person, the stakes get a little bit higher versus just like more of season 2 and 3, just kind of trying to figure out, do all these wacky one-offs that were kind of happening. So now we have a real clear, direction for the show in a way, or at least for these characters, and it gets more and more clear. I mean, season 3 is still probably the best season, but I think this is like one of the biggest arcs that helped push these characters forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good stuff.
It was good.
Listener, what was your favorite episode from this season? And you can send us an email to parksandconversation@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you about season 4, favorite episode, least favorite episode. And also, listener, tell your friends about this show, would you? There's another little upstart with a guy named Rob Lowe. He thinks he's a big deal. He's doing a thing about parks and recreation too. For some reason, I don't understand it. But, let people know. And also, we're still waiting for our Nemesis shows. So keep telling, call out Mark Maron and whoever else. And, we're talking trash about Rob Lowe, I guess. Here.
I don't know.
Oh, Rob Lowe can handle it.
Sure.
So,
you will literally run over here and handle it.
It's actually a really good show. I really appreciate the show. But yeah, It's fun. Yeah. So if anyway,
it's like Bobby Newport. If you're not gonna listen to us, you should listen to that. If you're not gonna vote for me, you should vote for Leslie.
I think there's enough room for at least 2 parks and recreation podcasts in people's lives. At least 2.
Okay.
And I think we should be one
after
of them.
that, though.
And then allow Parks and Recollection to be the other one. So
that's a good name.
You know what? I'm still super proud of our name. I think it's a great name.
It's true.
Because it fits exactly what we do. Because we talk about stuff. So it's parks and conversation. And so theirs, because they worked on the show, they're remembering stuff. So it's parks and recollection. It works. They both work. And I think they both work well together.
Yeah. Companion podcasts almost.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Anyway. All right, Jeremy.
All right.
This has been enough tomfoolery, right?
Season 5 coming up next episode. Miss Snope goes to Washington.
Oh, man. All right. Well, then I will book my airfare to Washington as well to then talk about it. So
sounds good. I'll see you there.
All right. Talk to you later.